Monday.com tutorial for beginners. How to use Monday.com for project management. Hey guys, welcome back. In this video, I will walk you through how Monday.com works, a project management software with great built-in CRM software. No matter what your business is, big or small, Monday.com has a ton of great features in store for you. Hopefully by the end of this video, you'll figure out how to get started with this software and to use it as a personal or business project management tool. So getting started with Monday.com, all you have to do is go to your browser and type in Monday.com, or you can click the link provided in the description to sign up for a free account with up to 2 seats. And if you're serious about project management and using Monday.com and its best features, I recommend that you take a paid plan. Take a look at the paid plans of Monday.com over here. It starts with the basic plan, then the standard, pro, and enterprise plan. Now, if we take a look at their basic plan, it includes unlimited free viewers, items, and boards, and it starts at $8 per seat per month. Then the standard plan starts at $10 a seat per month, where you also get access to automations, integrations, as well as guest access, Gantt views, timeline views, and calendar views. Then if we take a look at the pro version, then it starts at $16 per month, including 25,000 automations and integrations, and you also have formula columns. So formula columns allow you to create Excel sheets within Monday, not necessarily Excel sheets, but your basic mathematics can easily be solved in Monday.com. So if you're someone that has a lot of money or monetary information within your projects, then the formula column is something that you have to opt for. Then there's also the enterprise version for larger businesses. Now, what I recommend is the standard plan. The reason for this is because if there's not a lot of finances included, you get a lot of the basic functions that you would require as a user of Monday.com and if you're looking to manage your projects on Monday.com. Now, it's good for a team of 3 people or more. For each of these plans, you can get a 14-day free trial, and you can try the plan simply by clicking on the link where it says try out for free, and you can get started with signing up for that particular plan. And if you're a freelancer, if you're someone that's just getting their business started, for those business owners, I recommend the standard plan. It has all of your standard features covered. The basic plan sometimes can be a bit limiting because it does not have timeline or Gantt views, as well as calendar views and automations and integrations, which usually end up being an integral part of any business. So simply click the link provided in the description box down below and you can get started. Now, after signing up, you will be prompted to add team members to your workspace. You can simply click on I'll do it later, and then you can skip through the basic questions of setting up to your actual dashboard, as I have skipped through over here. So this is going to be your first dashboard when you haven't set up your account, and this is where you can get started with building your project, managing projects, adding team members and staff, managing your sales, building sales funnels, campaigns, and more. But make sure whenever you are signing up to Monday.com that you have verified your email address. Otherwise, it does not let you add a lot of your features or create boards. Now, let's get started on how Monday.com works. So as you guys can see, if I click on home on the left side of my screen, this is my basic dashboard. This includes all of my personal tasks and all of my workspaces. Then on your left, you will have your My Work section, where you can see all of the work that is related to you, so things that have been assigned to you. Then you have a main workspace. This is the automated workspace that will be your standard workspace. So you can begin by clicking main workspace, or you can create a new workspace. For this video, we're just going to go ahead in our main workspace, and then you will see you have 2 options within that workspace. You will see this below in your recent boards, as well as in your left toolbar. Now, you can also minimize this toolbar if you want more space on your actual workspace. But if we take a look at our toolbar over here, it gives you 2 options. You can either get started with templates or start from scratch. So you can simply click on start from scratch if you're looking to build your board from scratch. and this will create an empty board for you. However, if you're someone that is not used to starting from scratch, you can use a pre-existing template as well. Now, as you guys can see over here on the left side, we can see our first board. This is our initial board, which is just called Start from Scratch. I will rename this board to Board 1. And you can do this simply by double-clicking the top section or simply by hovering your mouse over the board on the left toolbar, and then you can click on these three dots over here. Now, this is our first board. However, if you have multiple clients with multiple projects, it makes sense to be organized. So you can get started by clicking on your main workspace, and then you can click on Manage Workspace. Now you have your recent boards, and this will show you all of your boards. However, we're going to click on the three dots on the top right to be able to actually rename our workspace. So you can just double click on this workspace. Now I'm just naming it as my sample workspace. Now the next thing I want to do is click on the plus icon on the left toolbar. And now I can get started with organizing for different clients simply by clicking on New Folder. Once you click on New Folder, you can get started by organizing your boards within folders, because certain folders or certain clients might have similarly named files. For example, if I'm handling the finances for two different companies on the same workspace on Monday, it can be a bit confusing when I'm going through those boards. So simply by creating different folders, Project 1, and then Board 1, I'm going to drag it below Project 1. Now I can find all of the relevant information or all of the relevant boards present within Project 1. Keep in mind that all of the information present within one individual workspace can be shared. So if I want to build a data column that is from another board present within the same workspace, then you are going to be able to do that. However, if you create a new workspace, so if you click on these three dots over here and click on Add New Workspace, the new workspace will be limited to only the data present within. So you can't necessarily import data from one workspace to another. Now, once you've created the necessary folders that are required for your business, you can get started with building your boards. So if I want to build another board, all I have to do is click on the plus icon on the top left, click on New Board, and I can name my board. So let's say this board is related to marketing. A board can be related to anything: marketing, HR, design, sales, CRM, content production, or anything else. You can even see how you want to manage this board. So if you have a particular item that you want to add, or if it's going to be related to budgets, then you can add them like so. If you want a custom tag, then you can add a custom tag as well. After that, you can click on Create Board and your new board will be created. Now, as you guys can see, this new board has been created, but it is not under the folder of Project 1. So to do that, I can move this board right below Project 1, and now this is going to be present in the folder of Project 1. Now, after that, another very essential feature whenever you are creating a new board like this is the privacy setting. So on Monday.com, you have three basic privacy settings. You have your main board, which is going to be visible to everyone that is using your account. Then you have a private board. So if you are working privately or with selected team members, let's say this is a managers only board, I would make it a private board. So only managers that I have already invited within the workspace via this particular link for this particular board can actually access the board. Then I have the shareable section. So this is for working privately with guests outside of your account. This means that people that are not present within the rest of your workspace can access this particular board. This might be like a board that you create for an outside guest or client where the client can actually view their progress for their particular project. Now, each board on Monday.com can be broken down into three basic categories. You have groups. So as you guys can see in our marketing board over here, we have two different distinct groups. For groups, it could be your project phases, the stages that your project is in, or the time frames. So my first group might be initial ideas, and then the second group might be approved ideas or ideas in construction. This can be a group categorization. You can do this on the basis of project stages or time. Then within each individual group, you will find items. So items are present within groups and they can be tasks, they can be campaigns, they can be financial information as well. Then within each item, if you click on a particular item, you will see that you can write updates and you can add subtasks within a task or item. You can label them as sub-items as well. And you will see you can add bullet points, files, GIFs, emojis, mentions, and more within a item. Now, you guys can see for each individual board, you actually have a distinct description that you can add. So you will see this is going to be your main board, and you can click on the board and click on the arrow present right beside the title of your board. Once you do that, you can click on description. So a lot of times people forget the purpose of a board. You can make sure that the goal orientation of your team is aligned by adding the main purpose of your board over here. So let's say we are creating this marketing board and I want to have a very particular goal for my marketing board. So this is the purpose of our marketing board over here. Now, whenever someone is accessing this particular board, they will be able to see the description and make sure that the goals are oriented towards that description. Now, you can create groups for your board as well. If I take a look over here on this toolbar present below our main table, you will see that you have certain columns you can pin, as well as item heights, your conditional coloring, as well as item default values. Then you also have a filter by person option. Then on the top right, you have options such as power-ups, activity, discussion, notifications, permissions, settings, as well as some other actions. You can also choose to archive a board and delete a board. So we've currently set up our board over here, and within our board, let's say we want to get started with creating groups. So we had these two initial groups that were created within the empty template, just so it's easier for you to set things up. But you can create as many groups as you want, and they can be identifiers for a particular situation that your topics are in, or in the particular stage that your topics are in. So let's say I want to just click on add new group over here. A new group with a new color will be added. So the groups can be client requirements, it could be in progress, testing, completed, whatever stage that your item, idea, or task is in, you can create groups according to those. So a new group will be created like this. You can input the name of your group, and don't worry, you can later on change this as well. Let's say this is working on ideas. Now, if you don't like the color of a particular group, simply click on the title of the group. Then on the left side, you will have this button, and if you click on that, you will see the different colors available, and you can choose a color that you find is going to look better for your particular group. Now, you can also rearrange groups so they are in a more cohesive fashion. I don't want my approved ideas to be placed above initial ideas. So if you want to change the position of a group, simply click on the group title, and then you can drag it up and down like this. So let's say I want to keep this order, I can keep this order. And in this way, you can actually rearrange your groups. Now, after you have created groups in a board, you want to get started with adding items. So once you're done with adding your groups and rearranging them according to your workflow or setups, you can get started with adding items. As you guys can see, 3 basic items are usually created within your group in the empty Scratch template. So you can delete any pre-existing items that have been created within your groups simply by clicking on these items and clicking on delete. Now we have 3 empty groups and we can get started by adding items. To add an item, simply open up the group. So if it's collapsed like this, you want to click on this arrow and open it up. Then you want to click on add item. So after you have clicked on add item, you can add the name of your item. Let's say this is a marketing idea and this is an idea on So let's say this is an idea called emailing Facebook group members. This is just the title of this idea. Now, within each item or task, you can add a lot more detail. So you can simply click on that particular task or item. Now, once you do that, you will find a detailed section where you can write updates, attach files. You can also attach GIFs, emojis, and mention a particular teammate of yours as well. Then you also have all of the files that have been attached with a particular task or item present over here. Then you will have your activity log. This will show you when an item was created, who joined the item, is it assigned to a particular person, and any other kind of activity related to that item. Now you can continue on and add as many items as you require. So I have one item like this. I can add another item in another group, and you can also move items from one group to another as well as they move forward from your particular stages in your workflow. So if one idea is moving forward and it is moving to the next section, I can simply tick this idea on the left side. Once you tick this idea, you can take a look at the bottom toolbar that will appear. You want to click on Move To, and then you want to click on Move to Group. Now I can move this particular item to the next group, which is the approved ideas, simply by clicking on approved ideas. Now this is how you do it in a listicle view. You can even do a drag and drop whenever you are using a desktop device like this. So you can drag and drop a particular item simply by holding it and then moving it up and down. Now, if you want to get started with more definition to your idea or item, so I've created this item, but it doesn't have a lot of details in the form of columns. Your default columns will only have person, status, and date. This information cannot be enough for certain people. So you can get started by adding more columns. You can see over here that these are default columns and you can easily delete them like so. So if you don't require the default columns, simply click on these three dots over here. Then simply click on delete. Now all of these columns will be deleted and you can add your own custom tailored columns to better define your items. To do that, simply click on this plus icon over here. Now you have different types of columns that you can add. You want to make sure that your columns are related to your task. For example, you have statuses. So whether or not this is urgent, not urgent, or if it's assigned to a particular person, that could be your people status. Other important information usually is dates, so when this item was created or when it is due. And you also have some other useful tools like files, formulas, and more. So let's say I want to create a status column. So I will simply click on status over here. Now, after you do that, you will have three basic labels default that are set default in your statuses: done, working on it, or stuck. Now, these labels are not befitting to my workflow because I have categorized my workflow based on which stage it is in. My status might be more relevant to whether or not an idea is urgent or not. So I will click on status and click on edit labels. Now I can delete the labels that have been created and I can create a default label. So I will click on new label. So the default label I usually like to create as my neutral label. Then I like to add my non-urgent and then maybe a new label called urgent. Like this, I've created three different types of labels over here. Now you may drag a particular label like this, so you can place a label like so. And this will only be applied to that particular item, not the entire column. So my approved idea might be urgent, some of my initial ideas might be non-urgent, and I can set the columns accordingly. Now, if you want to create another column, you can click on the plus icon once again, and then you can click on date. And then you can rename this column. Let's say the date information is going to be relevant to when the task is due, or, when it is due. After that, I don't want anyone to even consider this in the initial ideas. So I will rename this column to due date. And now after that, I can click on the plus icon and I can set the due date for a particular item. Then I can click on the plus icon once more, and then I can add any other type of column that is required. So let's say I have a particular person working on each individual item. I can click on people over here to add a particular person to your particular tasks or items. This is going to differ depending on what kind of niche you are in and what are the requirements of those niches. Now, you can also add other types of columns to your board simply by clicking on add column, and you can add things such as time tracking, dependency formulas, text, timelines, tags, and more. So if you want to create like a dependency formula, you can just click on formula over here. Then you can do two things. So you have the option of adding your column based on a specific function, which is the sum function, average function, count function, the round down, round up function. Let's say I just want to add a sum function, which is maybe going to be my potential revenue, and I want to have a sum of the potential revenue of all of my ideas at the bottom. So it will give the sum at the bottom of my column of all of my initial approved or working on ideas. I will click on sum over here like this. Now, after that, you will add your unit, and I will add dollars over here. Like this, I've added a formula and it will be summed for all of the ideas present. So if I input any number over here, it will correlate to the value of that particular item. Now you will see that you can add different types of constants as well. You also have other functions which are more related to finance, such as your specific lowercase string, you have uppercase string, you have some other functions that are more mathematical, as well as just some basic functions that help you in formatting your particular item as well. Now, after you have set up your basic board, you can get started with adding team members to your monday.com workspace. So if you click on the left side of your screen on the particular workspace title, you will see 3 dots. And if you click on those dots, you will see that you have Manage Workspace. So if you click on Manage Workspace, it will lead you to the basic dashboard. And then from here, you can click on Members. This will show you all of your existing members. So if you find out that there is someone you haven't added yet, you will see on your top right corner, there's a plus icon, where if you hover your mouse, it shows you invite members. You can click on invite members over here, and you can input the email addresses of multiple people right in this section to invite people to join your monday.com board or workspace. You can do this with individual boards as well. So if you click on a board, such as my marketing board, I can click on invite on the top right, and then I can invite a particular person to that board. Now you will also see a little notification or a little text that says anyone at this particular account can find and access this board. So because this is a basic board, however, if you create a shareable board, only the people that you add to your board from the inside of your board will be able to access the information present within. Now, if we want to get started with adding more details within our items into sub-items and more definition or detail, I can open up my item like so. Now you will see that within your opened up item, you have a few formatting options for updates that you can write, but at the end you have a checklist. So you can simply click on the checklist and create your sub items. Simply by clicking on our checklist, let's add our first sub item, which might be, then I'm going to add the second sub item like this. So after I've added 3 items, I can click on update on the bottom right. And just like that, the 3 items have been added. So whenever a task is being worked on, instead of just having one item, people can mark off a particular thing that they have completed, and it will be marked off like this. Now, this can be especially helpful if you're working in larger teams where there are larger tasks which have a lot of subdivisions within them. Now, After that, you can also go on ahead and add different views. Because this kind of listicle view can be a bit difficult to navigate, then for that, you can click on Add View over here. Now, after you click on Add View, you will see the different types of views that you can add. So let's say you want to add a Gantt view, which is more so a timeline view, or you want a calendar or Kanban view. You can simply choose the type of view you want, and the particular view for the same board will be added. So it's not new information, it's just the same information that you have, and then it's categorized or it's shown to you in a different fashion. Now, if I click on Kanban view once more, it will just show me the same thing because it's about the same particular item. Now, you will see things will be marked in their particular statuses in the Kanban view. So if you click on the top right settings bar over here, you can choose the type of information that is displayed within each card or each item. For this particular board, let's say I want to display only the status, or let's say I only want to display the person who is working on it. So that information will be shown on your view. Now, if you want to display all information relevant to your particular item, you can click on all columns on this board, and then all the relevant information will be shown in the form of a card in your Kanban view. Then if you take a look at the top over here, you have your Kanban columns. So it groups items with the same status together, and this is going to be done on the basis of statuses. Now, after you've done that, you can close up your settings and you will have all of your relevant information deployed right in front of you. Now, other than a Kanban view or a project view, you can add different types of views as well. Simply click on Add View and click on Table View. This will give you table views. Then if you want Gantt views, you can also create those where you can find a more timeline view. Then if you want a calendar view, you can create those as well. There's really no limit on how you want to view or format your particular items or your groups. Now, depending on your Monday.com plan, you might not have access to these views. So in the calendar view, you can have a very well equipped view of all of your upcoming events as well. Now, another very central thing within your boards is how you can automate them. And automations are a feature that are integral to project management. So if you open up any view, you can add automations anywhere. But to use a automation on Monday.com is super simple and effective, and it's one of my favorite things to do on Monday.com is to make sure all of my things are automated. So with automations being such an amazing feature, let's get into how you can add an automation to your board. So simply open up your particular board that you want to add your automation on. Monday.com's automation tool is a great feature, but you can't access it on the free plan. So make sure that you have upgraded to the standard plan before you start to use automations. However, you can also try out the standard plan for 14 days for free by using the link provided in the description. So to add a automation, simply click on automation on the top right. Once you click on automations, you will see a few different examples. Now you can choose the one that suits your particular workflow. For example, they have different categories on the left, and then you also have some featured automations, notification-based automations, status change automations, recurring automations, and these can be really easy to use. So let's say you have a monthly annual meeting, like a monthly meeting or an annual meeting that you hold for each particular board member. So you can create a recurring automation that after every 30 days, a meeting is created, or after every 15 days, a meeting is created. So in this way, you can create recurring automations. These automations can be customized from scratch as well, so they fit your niche better. Now, let's say that when a status changes, I want to notify myself for a particular task. So whenever a status changes to something, move item to this group, or when a status changes, archive something. So these are different status change automations as well. Now you can choose any one of these automations. Just make sure you're setting them up correctly and just make sure you're adding all of the relevant information. So there's also different notification based automations. So when an item is created in this group, create an update. Or when a certain date arrives, a status should be changed. Or when an item is created, assign this person to it. So you can create automatic features like this that will help you in reducing the overall amount of time it takes for you to get started with building your workspace and building your area of work. Now, let's say we want to create a basic automations. So when a status changes to something, notify someone. I can click on use this template, and then all I have to do, you will see the particular lines of the automation appear over here. So you're simply going to click on status. Now you will choose the column that this is dependent on. So this is going to be the status column. Now, whenever the status changes to urgent, so whenever something becomes urgent, then I want to notify. And you can add the particular notification over here. Hey, this task is now urgent, or whatever kind of notification you want it to be. So you will add your notification over here. You can also add the item name like this, board name like this, and it will automatically in the notification add the relevant item name and board name as well. And it can also add the group name, status, due date, and people assigned as well. Now, after that, let's say I want to be notified. So whenever status is changed to urgent, then I will be notified by the item's name, board name, hey, this is now urgent. And I can click on create automation over here. Now this automation has been created. With each automation, you can choose to turn them on or off dependent on your need. And if you click on these three dots over here, you can duplicate automations as well. This is a very simple automation, but if you're creating more complicated automations which have multiple different dependencies, then it's really easy to just duplicate an automation. And if you're meant to notify multiple people, you can just change the ending part of your automation as well. Now, after that, let's say I want to notify someone else as well. I can click on duplicate automation. And then instead of Sarah Brown, I can choose a particular team member. Now, if I go back to automations, you guys will see there are some longer automations like this. Oh, when a status changes to a different status, and if only the status is this particular status, then you can create a new item and a board. So these kinds of longer automations are what I like to use my duplicate tools on. Now, there are a few different types of templates that you can explore over here. There are a lot of time-based ones as well as notification-based ones that can help you in making sure all of your work is happening on a good schedule. And there are also items where you can create automations for sub-items. So whenever sub-items of an item have the status of this, notify someone, or when all of the sub-items change, I want to be notified like this. Then you can also create dependency ones. So ensure that this date in the item always starts after this date, or adjust the date to reflect the changes made in the other date of the same item. So you will be able to see different types of automations as you build your tasks. And as your tasks get more complicated, you can get started with building more complicated automations as well. Now, this is all about setting up your project management on Monday.com. How can you really get started with CRM? Well, CRM includes setting up your client affairs, sales funnels, and more. And you can easily create a CRM setup for your Monday.com workspace as well. So to do that, I like to get started with building my own board. So this is my project 1, and this is going to be related to my workspace. So this particular folder is only related to my workspace. And let's say I want to build CRM for the same workspace. So all I have to do is click on these three dots over here, or click on this plus icon. So once I click on this plus icon, I can scroll down and then click on new folder. This folder I will name CRM, and all of my CRM related items would be put in over here. Now within our CRM folder, I can create different boards to represent different items within the CRM. So it can include my client affairs, my sales funnels, the different stages of my sales funnel as well. So you can create a board from scratch within your CRM folder, or you can get started you can create a board from scratch within your CRM folder, or you can use a template as well. We're going to click on the plus icon once more and click on new board. And after I've created my board like so, I can move it within the CRM folder like this. Now, once something is present within the CRM section, it's easier for me to find that within my particular workspace. Now, you guys can see that this is a empty or starting from scratch board. If I want a new board, I can go on ahead and click on the plus icon and then click on choose from templates. Now, if you take a look over here on the left side, you have different types of templates, and you can click on sales and CRM over here. Now you have different types of CRM templates available. And let's say I want to use the basic CRM. Now your needs are going to be different and you want to choose what fits your needs. So you can take a look at all of these in more detail, where you have supporting sales materials, contacts, customer projects, customer onboarding, and different CRM sections. So you can pick out the particular CRM template you want and click on use template over here. Now, just like that, your template will load up on your monday.com workspace. And this is the best part about using monday.com. You can see now our CRM template has been loaded, and it has 4 different boards within the particular template. You will see the first board is a getting started board. Now in your getting started board, it will help you in navigating through the rest of your boards, which we won't need, so I can click on the 3 dots over here and then click on delete. Now after that, you have 3 basic boards. You have your My Contacts board, your Deal Tracker board, and a Sales Dashboard. So just like that, we have generated a CRM template, and you can customize all the information within this template. So things such as your items, categories, campaigns, sales pipeline, all of that can be customized. And then in this folder, you will have all of the important boards you need. You can create more boards as you go, but depending on the level of template you've chosen, it can include things such as your sales pipeline, contact, lead capturing, sales dashboard, CRM, and learning center. So if you're thinking of using monday.com as a CRM software, use templates to get started. And this will also help you in setting up your automations. And if you go into your automate section within a template, you will actually see that it will help you in just making sure that all of the fields for a particular item are present within that. So if I go into my deal tracker board over here and click on automate, you will see that there are 3 or 4 active automations that have been added. So when a stage changes to loss, set the close date to the current date. When a stage changes to 1, set the close date to the current date. When an item is created, set the deal creation date. When a stage changes to 1, move the item to closed 1. Now, going through these automations, it will better help you understand how you can set up long-form automations where your work will be moved for you instead of you having to manually check through everything. Now, you can go through each of the pre-existing automations within your particular template, and then you can go on ahead and choose to turn it on or off as well. Now, you can't access a comprehensive CRM board through monday.com in a free plan, and you will have to upgrade to be able to use all of these automation features on monday.com as well. So keep that in mind whenever you are navigating through monday.com. There are some hidden gems that a lot of people don't realize whenever they are using monday.com. Now, this includes being able to segregate different clients' work. And if you get confused with different clients and different sections of your work, you can simply click on the three dots on the top left, and you can go on ahead and we have this workspace. So click on this and then click on add workspace. Now in your new workspace, you can create a closed workspace as well, or a open workspace where only you are the member. And then you can manage different clients over there as well. This can be a great way to make sure that it's easier for you to manage different sections within your projects or different projects at the same time. And it also can help you in maintaining a level of privacy with the rest of your team as well. So you can click in the description box down below for a free account with up to 2 seats. And if you're serious about project management and using Monday with its best features, I recommend that you take a paid plan on monday.com. So I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next video.